What if an AI could actually learn from its mistakes, just like we do? What if it could build up this huge library of skills that it could just pull from to solve totally new problems without always having to start from square one? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. A pretty incredible new system called SkillNet that might just make this a reality. Yeah, think about that for a second. This question really gets to the core of one of the biggest challenges in AI today. See, right now, most AI models are kind of like amnesiacs. They're forced to reinvent the wheel every single time they face a new challenge. But what if we could actually change that? What if we could give them a real long-term memory, a way to build on their past experiences and become genuine experts?
So how do we get from that AI amnesia to true AI mastery? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the reinventing the wheel problem. Then we'll introduce SkillNet, which is this really elegant solution. We'll dive into how it works, check out the amazing results it's already getting, and then talk about what this all means for the future of AI.
Okay, let's start with a really simple example. Picture an AI that's learning to play chess. Now, it might spend hours and hours figuring out the absolute perfect opening move, only to completely forget it the next time it sits down to play. That, right there, is the reinventing the wheel problem in a nutshell, and it's a huge roadblock for making AI truly intelligent. So why does this happen? It's because an AI's knowledge is often trapped in what's called a transient context. The best way to think about it is like having a brilliant idea in a dream, but the second you wake up, poof, it's gone. Without a system to store and organize what they've learned, AI agents are just stuck in this endless loop of rediscovery. And believe me, this is not a new problem. Way back in the early days of AI, the symbolic era, we tried to build systems with these really clear logical rules, but they were just too brittle. They couldn't handle the messiness of the real world. Then came the deep learning revolution, right? It gave us these incredibly powerful AIs, but all their knowledge was locked away in a black box, making it almost impossible to reuse. And that brings us to today, the agentic era, where we're building AIs to take action. We're creating these modular skills, but we're still missing the glue to hold it all together. And this is where SkillNet comes into the picture. It's a revolutionary system that basically acts as a shared library for AI skills. It allows them to be created, tested, and organized in a way that's just never been possible before. Seriously, think of it like a GitHub, but for AI knowledge. A place where skills can be shared, improved, and built upon over time. And this right here gives you a pretty good idea of the scale we're talking about. SkillNet isn't just a messy pile of skills. No, it's a carefully curated, interconnected network of over 200,000 of them. And it has this really tough evaluation process to make sure that only the absolute best, highest quality knowledge actually makes it into the library. So when we say skill, what do we actually mean in the context of SkillNet? Well, think of it like a recipe. It takes a high-level goal that we can understand, like book me a flight, and it breaks it down into a series of concrete, step-by-step instructions that a machine can actually execute. It's the critical bridge connecting what we want to what the machine can do. Okay, so what's the secret sauce here? How does SkillNet actually pull this off? Let's pop the hood and see how it transforms this chaotic mess of information into a beautifully organized, reliable library of AI skills. The whole pipeline is this elegant but super powerful three-step process. First, it just pulls in a massive amount of information from all over the place to create potential skills. Then it puts every single one through the ringer to evaluate them, making sure only the best of the best get through. And finally, it takes those top-tier skills and intelligently organizes them into a network that's ready for an AI to use. Let's zoom in on that first step, because this is where the real magic happens. The creation process can digest all sorts of unstructured data, everything from GitHub projects and technical documents to just normal user interactions. And it automatically distills all of that into potential AI skills. It's like having a whole team of expert librarians who can read everything on the internet and turn it into a perfectly organized library. But creating skills is only half the story. You have to make sure they're actually any good. And that's where the evaluation process comes in. It's like a multi-stage obstacle course for every single skill. They have to prove they are safe, complete, executable, maintainable, and even cost-aware. Only the ones that pass every single test make it to the finish line. And the final step is to organize all these vetted skills into a truly intelligent library. To do this, SkillNet uses a three-layer system called an ontology. So at the very top layer, you've got a taxonomy, which is like a high-level table of contents that groups skills into categories. In the middle, there's a relation graph.
kind of like a detailed index that shows how all the skills relate to each other. And then at the bottom, you have a package library, which is like prepackaged toolkits of skills ready to be checked out and put to work. Okay, so does all this fancy tech actually make a difference? Is it worth it? The answer is a resounding yes. In fact, the results are so impressive, they could totally change how we think about developing AI from here on out. To really put SkillNet to the test, the researchers basically threw their AI agents into the deep end. They had them navigate these super complex virtual worlds, solve tough scientific puzzles, and even go online shopping. I mean, these are exactly the kinds of tasks that have always been a huge struggle for AI. So what happened? The results were staggering. On average, the agents equipped with SkillNet performed 40% better than the ones without it. Now, you have to understand, in the AI world, an improvement of just a few percentage points is a huge deal. A 40% leap is, well, it's almost unheard of. But it's not just about getting the job done, right? It's about getting it done efficiently. And the SkillNet agents were also 30% faster. They needed fewer steps to complete their tasks. This proves that SkillNet isn't just giving AI a bigger brain, it's giving it a smarter brain. So, what does this all mean for the future? Where do we go from here? In this last section, let's zoom out a bit and look at how this technology could kick off a whole new era of AI, one that's defined not just by learning, but by true mastery. This quote from the original research paper just nails it. It perfectly captures the massive shift that SkillNet represents. It's all about moving beyond this one-and-done approach to AI learning and finally creating systems that can grow, that can evolve over time, just like we do. And the implications of this are, well, they're profound. We're talking about a move away from building specialist AIs that are only good at one thing, and toward building generalist AIs that can learn and adapt to any challenge. Imagine AI assistants that actually remember your preferences, or self-driving cars that can instantly share safety lessons with each other. It's a shift from a collection of individual AIs to a true collective intelligence. And that leaves us with this huge question, a question that could really define our future with technology. Are we just content with teaching AI to perform tasks for us? Or are we trying to build an AI that can truly achieve mastery, maybe even surpassing us in the process? The choice, really, is ours.